Hey guys, today's topic will be NESARA. So we're going to go ahead and go over what NESARA is and what it means for us. Now, NESARA it stands for National Economic Security and Reformation Act. And what it means for us, it means it pays off your credit card debts, forgives your home mortgages funded by banks and mortgage companies, forgives your home equity loans, forgives your car loans backed by banks, forgives your college education loans, forgives bank funded property mortgages of corporations registered in the US. And so that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Now, as of May 4th, 2007, NESARA was renamed to GEZARA, which now stands for General Economic Security and Reformation Act. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over this article concerning NESARA, and then you be a judge if it's true or false. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started with this. The National Economic Security and Reformation Act, or NESARA, will be announced soon, and the results in immediate elimination of credit card debt in the U.S. In early 1993, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on charges by the Farmers Union that banks in the U.S. were fraudulently foreclosing on farm mortgages and that the U.S. government was in collusion with these banks. The testimony and proof brought into court by a retired CIA agent led to further evidence and proof that the Farmers Union's claims were legitimate. It also led to evidence the income tax amendment was never properly ratified by the required number of states, and therefore income taxes were unlawful. Almost unanimously, the U.S. Supreme Court justices ruled in favor of the Farmers Union. The justices recognized that overwhelming evidence proved the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve banking system were perpetrating fraud in many ways upon Americans. The justices recognized that to remedy the situation, massive reformations would be required. When rulings are made by the U.S. Supreme Court, one or more justices are assigned to monitor a process by which the rulings are carried out. In this case, 5 justices were assigned to a committee to develop steps to implement required government and banking reformations. As the justices went about developing the required reformations, they enlisted the help of experts in economics, monetary systems, banking, constitutional government, and law, and many other related areas. The justices built coalitions of support and assistance with thousands of people worldwide. These thousands of people working to bring us NESARA have been named White Knights. The term White Knights is borrowed from the Wall Street Journal and the world of big business. Hostile takeovers, when a vulnerable company is rescued from a hostile takeover by a white knight, corporation, or wealthy person. Certainly, these people fighting to bring Americans and the world the benefit of NESARA and to rescue our people from government and banking fraud deserve to be called White Knights. Now, because of the enormously sweeping changes the ruling required, an extremely strict gag order was placed on everyone directly involved, and the court case records are sealed until after the reformations are accomplished. To maintain secrecy, the case details for the docket number assigned to the Farmers Union case were changed, so doing a search for this case will fail to reflect the correct information until after the reformations are made public. At every step of the process, anyone directly involved has been required to sign an agreement to keep the U.S. Supreme Court's process of implementing the required reformations secret, or face charges of treason which are punishable by death. To implement the required reformations, the 5 justices spent years negotiating how the reformations would occur in agreements called accords with the U.S. government, with the Federal Reserve Bank owners, with the International Monetary Fund, with the World Bank, and with numerous other countries, including the United Kingdom and countries of the Eurozone. Now, the U.S. banking system reformations require the Federal Reserve Bank system be absorbed by the U.S. Treasury Department and the bank's fraudulent activities stopped, as well as remedies to U.S. citizens for past harm due to fraud. Now, the U.S. banking reformations will impact the entire world, and therefore the IMF, the World Bank, and other countries had to be involved. Now, because the process of using the courts to implement the reformations did not work, the justices authorized the reformations be put into the form of a law named the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, or NESARA, which was passed secretly on March 9, 2000. Again, secrecy was maintained by revising the official records. Details of the bill number for NESARA were revised to reflect a commemorative coin and revised again more recently. Members of Congress have been ordered by the U.S. Supreme Court justices to deny the existence of NESARA or face charges of treason punishable by death. Some members of Congress have been charged with obstruction and threatened with treason charges. Therefore, all members of Congress pretend that NESARA has not been passed in order to comply with the justice's gag order. Over 150 countries have signed agreements that within a few days to a few weeks after NESARA is announced, these countries will do their own announcements about their own new banking systems and currency backed by precious metals. These countries will also announce their own bank debt forgiveness of credit card debt, mortgage debt, and other bank debt on which high rates of interest have been charged. The other NESARA improvement will be rolling out to most countries, but there are many different specifics and scenarios as to how these things will show up in each country. There are too many different processes involved for me to cover the exact details for each country. The bankers are very worried that people in other countries will rush out to charge new purchases on their credit cards after NESARA is announced. This is why the banking system worldwide will be forced to announce their NESARA-like banking and currency changes and bank debt forgiveness within a few weeks of NESARA's announcement. If the bankers wait until people have charged large amounts of new purchases, the banks will not make a profit from the payoff amounts they will be receiving to do the bank debt's forgiveness. Excerpts from the Dove Report of August 26, 2003. The National Economic Security and Reformation Act, NESARA, provided major benefits to Americans, including forgiveness of credit card, mortgage debt, and other bank loans as remedy for 70 years of bank and government frauds. Abolish IRS, creates a new national sales tax on new non-essential items only as revenue for government. Initiates U.S. Treasury Bank system, which absorbs the Federal Reserve and new precious metals-backed U.S. Treasury currency. Bank personnel have already been trained on NESARA, and the new currency is already in some bank vaults. Restores constitutional law in the U.S. as our forefathers intended when they signed the Declaration of Independence. Requires resignations of current administration to be replaced by constitutionally acceptable NESARA president and vice president designates until new elections can take place within 120 days. NESARA U.S. president declares peace due to NESARA's abolishing all unconstitutional national states of emergency. All U.S. military aggressive actions will cease immediately. Many bank presidents and senior stockbrokers have privately confirmed to close personal friends that they have been briefed about the U.S. Treasury banking system. In June 2000, news of the secret NESARA law passage came from the U.S. Naval Intelligence contacts, who are some of the white knights who have assisted the justices in activities involving NESARA. Many powerful groups have tried to stop the announcement and implementation of the NESARA law, which provides major financial improvements for Americans. After 18 months of clearing interference, The justices had the current Congress pass resolutions approving NESARA on September 9, 2001. NESARA was to be announced at 10 a.m. Eastern on September 11, 2001. Groups opposing NESARA arranged for the attacks to occur on 9/11 to keep NESARA from being announced. The current Bush regime has caused continuous interference with the NESARA announcement and implementation process on many fronts. The conception of NESARA began in the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling in 1993. The U.S. Supreme Court justices need to hear from thousands of Americans that we support the true NESARA law. The NESARA announcement is our best hope to have peace declared instantly. If the White Knights know how much support they have from Americans, they might be less conservative in their decisions about what needs to be exactly right to get the true NESARA law announced, and this could speed up the process. People from other countries can also write to express their support of NESARA, because eventually NESARA improvements will roll out to every nation worldwide. All people who wish to experience the benefits of NESARA can send a postcard to the U.S. Supreme Court justices and request the true NESARA law be announced immediately. A postcard is better than a letter because due to the anthrax letters mailings, letters and envelopes are slow getting delivered in D.C. Since a postcard does not have any place to hide anthrax powder, postcards have a good chance of being delivered fairly quickly. Send postcards supporting NESARA to the following address: U.S. Supreme Court, 1 First Street, Washington, D.C. 20543. Supporting NESARA is one way everyone can contribute to making their own lives and the lives of their friends and family better. Okay, so that was the end of this article. I really hope this NESARA thing is true and it gets passed with the situation it is nowadays, with the debt as high as it is. We may lose the dollar, and so if this letter is true, if this information is true, it can benefit us all, especially those who have student loans and mortgages. Okay, so that's the end of this article. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.